for today's meeting, I just want to go over the income doc type. The reason that I wanted to go over is because I saw many files when I get to review for the initial review process. There's a time where I see that you requested something from the LO, but that's not for the income type of that specific file. So I just want to show you whenever you get the new file, which section to look for in our prospect ERP, and then what documents you have to request from the LO before you clear the task. So let me just show you a few examples. Do you guys see my screen? ERP? Is it too small? Is this okay?
It's a little
Do you guys
small.
see? Too little? Okay. Tapana.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. When I assigned you guys to start the initial review process, you will get an assignment from prospect. So when you go to prospect, before you start the initial review, make sure that you check the document type. It's on the right-hand side under the loan info section. If document type is full doc, you'll have to request the income document that you know, which is this one. So I'm sure you guys already have this checklist for the initial review process. For income doc type, if it's full doc, you're gonna request these. If the borrower is a W-2 wage earner, then you're gonna request pay stubs with W-2s. If it's self-employed, then you're gonna request W-2, personal tax returns, and business tax return, right? But for example, let's look at this borrower. He's doing rate and term refinance, and his income type, document type is bank statement. If this is the case, you don't request tax returns. Instead, you have to request the bank statements, right? 12 or 24 months bank statements. But in most cases, LO sends the bank statements to Vivian for income calculation ahead of time. So 99.9%, you'll see 12 months bank statements. If not, you can just request from LO. And once you get the bank statements, you'll have to request CPA letter, but it's not required to get it at the initial review stage. You can request it and just push the file over to me. But these 12 or 24 months bank statements, you have to get them before you push the file to me, so I can review the file thoroughly with the income documents. And also there's one more, which is 12 months housing history for the current residents, regardless of occupant's type. If you get any bank statement loan, you'll have to get 12 month housing history, meaning that the history of our paying rent or mortgage at the current residence. If the borrower lives at the current residence as rent-free, then you'll have to get the rent-free letter from the borrower. Okay, so these three documents you have to request from the LO for the income, but CPA letter and housing history, those are not required at initial review, but you'll still have to request it just so we can get all the documents ahead of time before escrow is open. And if the income type is P&L, it's similar. You'll have to get the CPA letter and 12-month housing history. But on top of that, you will request P&L. CPA or tax preparer prepare P&L covering the most recent 12-month period. And for AMET, AMET is the investor. If LO has specific preference to submit this loan to AMET, then you'll request 24 months. And I forgot to put here, but for AMWEST, AMWEST requires last year P&L and year-to-date P&L. So total 2 separate P&L. Okay. So whenever LO decides where to submit, and if it's either AMET or AMWEST, you'll request a different P&L. But for all other investors, they usually require P&L covering most recent 12 months. So make sure you get this document before push the file to me. But CPA letter and housing history, you really don't have to get them at the initial review stage. And then if it's DSCR, there's actually no income documents needed. So you don't have to request tax returns, pay stubs, or P&L, bank statement, anything. But you have to get the lease agreement for subject property. If it's purchased, you don't know. You don't know the subject property yet. So you don't really have to request the lease agreement. If it's refinance, it means the borrower owns that property. So there should be a lease agreement plus 2 months rental income deposit. So make sure to request these. I'm gonna note here, refi only. So you don't get confused, refi only. So for purchase, you really don't have to get the lease agreement and 2 months rental income history for subject property. And then appraisal report, we get to order the appraisal once the escrow is open, right? So this one is not required at initial review, but I just put it there just so that you know what what documents are needed for this DSCR loan. And then for DSCR, like other non-QMs, you'll have to get a 12-month housing history for the primary residence from where they are currently living at. So you're gonna request it from the LO, but this does not stop you to finish up the initial review. So email them and then just push the file over to me. And then I'll review and then update the document needed list if I have to. So when you start reviewing the initial review, just don't request tax return and W-2 without looking at the checklist. You have to check the checklist, make sure what income document this file is going with, and make sure to request correct income document list so LO is not confused. Okay? Because when LO submits the file to us, they complete the MLO submit page. And when they complete the MLO submit page, they always put the income document type that they want to apply for the borrower. So if we request incorrect income documents, they get so confused and they would assume that we're not thoroughly reviewing the files. So before requesting any documents from the LO, make sure the income document type is correct. And if you're not sure, you can always ask me or ask Brenda if you need any help. Okay. Just want to show you one more. If it's like government loan, let's just say if it's a VA or FHA, it's always full doc. Just assume that it's full doc. So request tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs. So you can get all the income documents ready and then income calculation ready in our Calix system. Okay. I think that's it for today. Is there any other question? No, I think. Okay. For next week's meeting, I want to cover more about the income calculation. So if you have any tricky files when you get to review any files, just let me know. For me, any income documents that you get confused with, and I can cover that for our next week's meeting. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining this meeting, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.